All right, Brock Purdy. Love a good Brock Purdy film study. Today we're going to eventually get into some film. I also have some numbers real quick that I want to talk about, previewing this situation. So first, let's get into this chart. This is where each of these teams ranked in specific PFF grades in specific categories. Also, I should mention that I've already made a video previewing the other side of the ball, how Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense should attack the San Francisco 49ers defense and how that should go. So check that out. It's on this channel if you haven't already. But anyways, back to this. We have, you see that the passing game for San Francisco, PFF has it rated as 14th, but it's worth mentioning, there were 3 different quarterbacks who contributed to that. So Brock Purdy is the ultimate wild card, has looked elite at times, has looked like a Mr. Irrelevant at times, but very short amounts of times, and usually he bounces back very well. There's been flashes of the Mr. Irrelevant, but for the most part has played very well this season. And part of what helps, obviously, everyone talks about Kyle Shanahan, but this is also the #1 ranked receiving core according to PFF. They have so many weapons on this roster that, yes, Kyle Shanahan is a genius and he definitely makes it work better, but also helps when he has the toys to play with. Dallas has covered well, but maybe not quite as well as you might think. They're 12th best in football. Some of the depth has been an issue at times, which this is not the team you want to have a depth issue against, although I think that they, and we'll get into it in the film a little bit more, but I think the way they covered, they should be okay there. Also worth mentioning, pass blocking versus pass rushing is great on great here. San Francisco, the 4th best pass blocking unit in football. Dallas, the 2nd best pass rushing unit in football. Typically, when you have great on great in that specific category, that actually favors the offense, is worth mentioning. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Also for the running game, you have, San Francisco run blocks well, not quite as well as they pass block, but they still do run block well. The running game, again, it's less about the running backs and more about the scheme. We all know it. But Dallas does not defend the run overly well. Part of that is actually by design a little bit. And again, we'll get more into that in just a second. But that's something that is, I think, worth noting. So now let's go over to the film. Let's talk about this play. But first, I got to talk about kind of the Cowboys defense as a whole. And obviously, this is not the Cowboys. They did not play the Cowboys this season. They played the Washington Commanders, so they have kind of a similar defense at times. Although, again, Dallas does everything. They really do. They mix up their scheme depending on their opponent very well, which is not something Dan Quinn has done over the course of his career, but he's started doing that more and more with Dallas, and it's been why he's been such an effective coordinator with them. But one of the things they do love to do, and one of the things I expect them to do a lot in this game, is what you see on the screen, cover 3 zone, which is, Dan Quinn used to always do this, right? With Seattle, this was kind of his thing when he won a Super Bowl there, was the sort of cover 3 zone consistently. It's a good coverage because it can help you stop the run effectively, but also it's not a terrible coverage against the pass either. They like to do a lot of quarters coverage and then sort of do this cover 3. The issue against San Francisco is I don't think they're going to want to play 2 safeties deep, so I think they'll be doing a lot more cover 3 as opposed to having, what this coverage would be, but with an extra safety deep. But this is where the issue could arise for Dallas, and this is just what San Francisco does so effectively, is they get guys out of position, and I think the safeties are going to have to come through for Dallas in this one, where, and this is a good example, where you see George Kittle running a deep route. Easy read for a safety, right? Stay deep with George Kittle. Simple, easy, we got it. However, right when this play begins, that's not happening. Look at the safety and look at how far in he's moved. What is he doing? What a fool, right? Why is he doing this insanely dumb thing? Well, no, it's not that way. It's not that he's being dumb here. It's obviously the wrong play, but there's a reason why he's making the wrong play, and it's because what does San Francisco do so consistently? They run play actions and have guys run routes over the middle. So because of that, a lot of times the safety has to come in and make a play. That's what the safety is doing on this play. The issue, of course, is that he doesn't actually have to do that because there is no route going over the middle, and instead, George Kittle is running a deep route instead. This is the, where play calling comes into play of you get guys to think that you're doing one thing only to do something completely different. Purdy is going to make this throw deep down the field, and the reality is no one gets guys out of position better than Shanahan. He's the best in the league at it, and he calls these plays so effectively that you have to make sure that you make your plays and understand your assignment, and sometimes that means giving up kind of some of the simple stuff. Of course, there's stuff like this as well, where we talk about the running game coming into play, and I think that there's maybe I'm not sure if I would inherently call it an issue, but there's definitely a concern for the Dallas Cowboys going into this one of will they be able to stop the run consistently. And I want to be clear in saying I don't think that's crazy to say that they can. I think they could potentially come in and the safeties could make these plays. Jaron Kearse, Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson have been 3 great safeties for them this season. So I definitely think that this could be advantage Dallas in a way, because like this play against the Washington football team, you see the blocking concept. Well, who's the closest unblocked man in this scenario? It's that safety right there. But watch what he's going to do. Look at how, when this play begins, he's going to run in and try to make a play on the jet sweep, but he misses it, and that's going to result in a touchdown. So I think you could look at this in several different ways. I think on one hand, you could look at this and say, this is a concern, right? That was a tough play that safety had to make. He wasn't able to make it. Man, this San Francisco team really ask a lot of the defenders if they're going to try and cover him. But of course, the flip side to all of this is the fact that Dallas has safeties who can make good plays. And if they have to make consistently good plays to win this one, well, that's not the worst case scenario to be in. They are capable of doing that, which is, again, it's just an interesting factor and could be one of the key contributing factors in if Dallas wins this game or not, is if those safeties can play well, which they certainly have the ability to. I want to go over to this chart now. This is a very fascinating chart to me. This is Brock Purdy, and this is a couple of different stats. First, when he's blitzed versus when he's not blitzed, you see that, he definitely, there's a jump when he is blitzed versus when he's not blitzed. When he's not blitzed, best passer rating in football with 113.6. When he is blitzed, still a very good passer rating, 103.6, but still that's a 10-point jump. You also see that the Pro Football Focus grade actually drops pretty significantly in that point. He goes from the 10th best quarterback when he's not blitzed to the 29th best quarterback when he is blitzed, and that's maybe some hope for Dallas as if they can blitz him, maybe there's a way you can get a turnover, perhaps, get something to go your way. Dallas is, they're kind of middle of the road a little bit in blitz percentage. They're 13th highest blitz percentage. So, okay, they will rush the passer at times. They're not crazy about it, but it's something that they will do. So, maybe throwing some extra guys there could be the right strategy. Although one thing that just shocked me, and I'm almost just putting this on the chart just because I think it's crazy, is you look at Brock Purdy, amazingly, his PFF grade is fine when he's pressured and when he's kept clean. It's about the same either way. But the passer rating is first in football in both scenarios. I mean, the 49ers offense works, whether he's getting pressured or whether he's getting kept clean. Obviously, there is a jump, but you don't expect a 97.1 passer rating when pressured. That's an insanely high number, and obviously 115.8 is an insanely high number when kept clean. So the reality is Brock Purdy's just working well, and a play like this, I do think he handles the blitz relatively well. Something like this, you're going to see that Washington player come in and blitz. Purdy, as you see, didn't notice it, but watch him be able to scramble out and at least minimize the damage here. He is going to eventually just throw the ball away. He does move very well, and that can help him in this scenario. But again, he had to throw the ball away, right? You were able to get them on a blitz, and that might be the strategy, is to blitz a decent amount in this one. You're not going to stop the 49ers, right? The 49ers offense is going to be able to be effective, but this might be a way to slow them down a little bit. So, predictions time, and final predictions time for this game. The Dallas defense gives up 1.67 points per drive on the season, one of the better teams in football. San Francisco's offense, one of the better teams in football as well, with 2.40 points per drive on the season. On both sides of the ball, these are two teams with great offenses and great defenses. It should be an amazing game. What's my prediction in this one? I'm going to say 2.1 points per drive in this one, which would be 21 points in 10 drives. I think it could go either way. I really do. I do think that Dallas should be able to do some nice things in this one coverage-wise. I don't think that, I do think their safeties should be able to come in and play well, and that should be a contributing factor, but I think that the San Francisco 49ers will still find ways to scheme up points. I do. Meaning, my final prediction, I have the Niners winning by a point. I have Niners 21, Cowboys 20. I didn't do that intentionally, just worked out that way, so I'm definitely expecting a very close, competitive game. I think this one could go either way, but I'm giving the Niners the slight edge. But hey, I bet against the Cowboys last week, and that I looked stupid then, so maybe they can make me look stupid again. I could see it. I think the Dallas Cowboys they're firing on all cylinders right now. This is a game that could go either way, and again, We've all kind of been waiting for Brock Purdy to have that bad performance, right? He hasn't really done it yet. Could this be the game? Could Micah Parsons come to town and spook him into that? It's possible. You could talk yourself into it, but I'm not. I'm still saying the 49ers pull off a narrow victory. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.